Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Let's start with the simple part. While the civilized world is busy arguing about pronouns and tariffs, 10 countries quietly sat in Moscow and discussed how to rewire a good chunk of the global economy around the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This is the part where smart people usually stop joking and start checking their exposure. Council of Heads of Government of the SCO met in Moscow. Formal result. Joint communiqué, smiles, group photo, real result, a set of signals that matter much more than the protocol. Key points. SCO states reconfirm the goal to strengthen the organization as one of the key global platforms for trade, investment, security, tech and science, and that huge bag of words called humanitarian cooperation. According to Mishustin, the combined exports of SCO members are already around 1/5 of global exports. Not a club of marginal states anymore, but a serious trade bloc. A trade between Russia and SCO states already hit $409 billion, and this is before all the new projects fully come online. On the table, SCO Development Bank and mutual recognition of credit ratings inside the bloc. If you strip away the diplomatic perfume, this is about one thing: building parallel economic infrastructure that can work even if the Western part of the system continues to weaponize finance, logistics, and regulation. SCO today is a strange hybrid: security club, terrorism, extremism, border risks, one economic platform, and a political roof for very different regimes, from India and Pakistan to China, Iran, and Russia. Now they're trying to move it from talking shop to functional architecture, own bank, alternative to IMF/World Bank money, own rating framework, less dependence on US/EU rating agencies, coordination on OAI, platform economy, space, climate agenda, education, healthcare, youth exchanges, tourism and culture. This isn't about friendship of peoples. This is about risk management in a world where one sanctions package can cut you off from SWIFT, insurance, capital markets, and half your logistics routes in a week. SCO is, in essence, an attempt to build a Eurasian safety circuit inside the global system, not a full autarky, but a separate network that can keep working if the main fuse is pulled. Everyone loves to laugh at new development banks until they start writing real checks. Creation of an SCO Development Bank and mutual credit rating recognition is not about bureaucracy. It's about three concrete things. One, capital under political control of the bloc, not Washington or Brussels. If a steel plant in Kazakhstan, a port in Pakistan, or a logistics hub in Uzbekistan wants long-term money, it gets it without being forced through Western ESG fashion or political loyalty tests. Two, cheaper funding inside the club. Once SCO creates its own rating ecosystem and legal base, local issuers can borrow in their own currencies, assessed by their own methodology, and placed via their own capital markets. The dependence on three Western rating agencies automatically shrinks. 3. Sanctions insurance. As long as the money, the clearing, and the rating risk sit inside SCO circuits, they are harder to block with a single sanctions decision. Not impossible, but much more expensive for the West to achieve. From the Western point of view, this looks like fragmentation and attack on the rules-based order. From SCO's point of view, this is basic survival instinct after watching Russian assets frozen, Iranian banking strangled, and others threatened with secondary sanctions. You don't need to love anyone here. Structurally, this is a rational defensive move. Now, the unpleasant part for those who want to see SCO as a future alternative UN, inside the organization you have in one cabin, China and India, who cannot agree on basic border issues. India and Pakistan, whose relationship periodically walks along the edge of war. Iran and Pakistan with their own tension. Central Asian states with different interests and external patrons. Russia, which simultaneously wants more trade, more control, and less responsibility for everyone else's problems. That's not a unified bloc. That's a floating coalition of overlapping fears and interests. To turn this into a working economic machine, they need mechanisms for dispute resolution that actually function, shared standards in banking, customs, infrastructure, hard projects that produce money, not just declarations. So far, there is more protocol than steel and concrete. But this is exactly how every serious integration project starts. EEC also began as just another trade club before it turned into the EU with its own currency and regulatory empire. Part of Putin's message at the meeting was simple. Russia does everything to stabilize energy markets despite attempts to break supply chains. Strip away the political perfume again. The idea is, if Europe doesn't want Russian energy, if maritime insurance, shipping, and payment systems are weaponized, then Russia will simply rebuild its flows. More pipelines and contracts toward Asia, more long-term deals with SCO states, more settlements in national currencies. In parallel, SCO states coordinate on transport corridors north-south and east-west, ports, rail, logistics hubs, and energy investments that don't depend on European regulatory fashion of the week. For the EU, especially for energy-intensive industry, this is not an abstract news item. Every time Brussels plays with sanctions and green experiments without a real backup plan, it pushes more trade, capital, and technology into structures like SCO and BRICS. And once these circuits are built and start working reliably, they don't come back just because someone in Europe changed their mind and decided to be nice again. From a structural point of view, the key question is not, is SCO stronger than NATO? They are playing different games. What matters? 1. Share of SCO trade and finance that moves into internal circuits. How much of that 409 billion in RFSCO trade goes in national currencies? How fast does intra-SCO trade grow versus trade with G7? 2. Whether the SCO Development Bank becomes a real lender, not a PR shell or project pipeline. Disbursements, co-financing with AIB/NDB/local banks. 3. Legal and technical plumbing, payment systems, clearing, local bond markets, rating agencies. This is boring to the public, but decisive for real power. 4. Crisis moments. We'll see the real value of SCO when one of the members gets hit by sanctions, debt stress, or major energy logistics shock, and turns to the organization not for words, but for money, infrastructure, and political cover. If in that moment SCO delivers, the world will quietly adjust portfolios. If not, it will remain a loud conference with a nice logo. I'm not interested in romantic labels like multipolar world and civilizational unions. On a systems level, what we see is the slow segmentation of the global economy into overlapping zones, each building its own, finance, logistics, legal frameworks, and tech standards. SCO is one of the more serious attempts to do this on the Eurasian continent. You don't have to like any of the players, but ignoring the architecture they're building is a luxury only reserved for people whose salaries don't depend on reality. Everyone else has to track it, position for it, and avoid being the last one who still believes that nothing really changed. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and try to remember, slogans don't power grids, systems do.